So expression lines are essentially the concept, which is multifactorial with a variety of factors that influence them. But they essentially accompany the concept of whether we are in static or dynamic motion. We can have lines that occur across our face, or creases, or extra muscle activity that cause inadvertent or intentional signs of being emotional or having expression. So whether we want to or not, and we can sometimes create them or they can exist, we can appear as if we are angry, happy, sad, and these are lines that come anywhere in our face and predominantly in the forehead region especially, that give the impression of having expression. And whether that radiates what you truly feel as a patient or not is something to be assessed and ascertained, but we know that we can create those intentionally or inadvertently. So expression lines can occur anywhere in the face. Predominantly the areas that are most telling are certainly the forehead, around the eyes, and then around the mouth, which is the perioral region. And when you have lines that are associated with these regions, they can often exacerbate certain emotions or expressions that you want or don't want. And they're multifactorial in their process of occurring. You have your intrinsic and extrinsic factors. Intrinsic factors are those that occur with your genetics, your ethnic variation, your gender as well. And that's part of the aging process that will influence that. So your skin and skin quality, the underlying structural support from the fat pads, or indeed the underlying support from the bone. So that will change and influence your expression lines. And then we know that we have extrinsic factors that can also influence the process of aging. Things like smoking, alcohol consumption, sun exposure, etc. And we know that those can also influence the onset and unintended sometimes expression lines that we have. So there are a variety of expression lines on the face, and so one has to ascertain which expression lines one wants to target and why. So you have to have a very thorough patient consultation to really appreciate what the patient does or doesn't want to have showing in terms of their expression lines, because often some patients like them, they just like them softened. And there are a number of ways that one can target and treat the expression lines, and we know that there are aesthetic treatments that can be targeted towards the areas that make us look a bit more angry or a bit more sad. And so often we can target these with injections and products that can be used in these areas. So the patient profile within aesthetics has evolved quite remarkably, and certainly post-COVID-19 there's been an acceleration in the evolution. And so now what we're seeing are patients from a variety of ethnic backgrounds, definitely more across the genders, and we're also seeing patients of different ages who once before weren't even entertaining aesthetic treatments or indeed expression line, addressing those expression lines. And so that's been contributed to from a number of factors, but the one that I'm seeing throughout all of the countries that I travel to, the theme that continues to go through is the fact now that there has been an evolution in aesthetics that's accompanied by research, development and innovation. And what the research, development and innovation is meaning that we can get much more natural looking results that are holistically approached. And therefore the patient isn't threatened anymore. They understand that you'll be designing an aesthetic treatment for them and not actually to mold them into one size fits all. We now have things that can ensure that we address what they need, their assessment, their ethnic variation, their age, their gender, and therefore the treatment is designed individually and specifically for them. And thus that makes it a much more all-encompassing specialty that is more welcoming to people across those patient profiles, and hence why I think there's been such an increase in the breadth and depth of the people that we're attracting.